This is a video I made for y'all. Made a video to all the closest people, all the people closest to me, whatever. For sure, y'all to be one, because y'all my last one. I saved the best for last. um, there's no way in this world I'll be able to add every single thing that I remember that y'all done for me. So if I leave something out, it's not because it wasn't important to me. Everything's super important to me, but I'll just tell y'all the things that I do remember off the top of my head. Um, but first, I just want to thank y'all. Like, I love both of y'all so much. God, y'all are perfect parents. Like, if I, I'm not saying this just to be nice. Like, if I could have picked my parents out, it wouldn't have equal close to any of you. So I'm just happy God set inside the motion that I couldn't choose what I want my parents to be like because I couldn't imagine this. Want to say I thank y'all for giving me this opportunity, this birth, this life, to be able to experience this world and giving teaching, raising me up through the Bible and loving God. That's super important to me. I don't know, I got to meet like so many amazing people, and without y'all, I never got to experience any of this. And I don't know, it's just hard to start somewhere. But thank you on April 30th, 1983. I want to say it was 8:47 p.m. that I was born, if I remember correctly from my birth certificate. Um, yeah, I don't know how you felt, Dad. Never asked you these questions because you're so so quiet, and sometimes I wonder if like I don't know, I don't know. A lot of questions I wanted to ask you, I didn't. But how did you feel having your first son? You know? You had two girls inside the you had three women inside the house: Rochelle, Kendra, Mom, and you finally got a male version of yourself that you could raise. You know, I know you're happy with all the kids, but I don't know. This is a question I want to ask. And you too, Mom, having your first son. You know? I love that. And the thing about me is like I have a very good memory. Like, not saying it's like brag or anything like that, but like I'm just happy that man, so many children inside this world were born being like abused by their parents, and with my type of memory, it was just been replayed like as if it was yesterday. But y'all gave me like the perfect childhood. Like anything I wanted to learn or do, anything I wanted to learn, Ma, you was there. Anything I wanted to do, Dad, you was there. I mean, or it's both ways, whatever, you know. But I can't gripe about anything about my childhood, especially no. I'm trying to go in order. Probably won't make it in order because it'll be a bunch of random memories. Yeah, I'll get into more detail. But like that, like I watched like a lot of documentaries. I don't know why. I like watching older documentaries of like important people, especially to like the black community who changed a lot, or to like music or anything, you know, like major figures. I was like I mean, told you I watched the Quincy Jones document, I watched the Malcolm X document, whatever. But I promise you, like, I know what they did for the black community, but still, none of them stood above you. Like, I don't know, can't explain it. Yeah, you saw my number one. Um, and Mom, same thing. All the important female black people, especially like the artists, the females in like the Black Panthers, all the things that I watch on those different things. None of them can compare to you. The love that you got, I don't know. I can't put into words, put it that way. Maybe I'll be able to put in words like inside the video, but y'all the two most important people in my life. I mean, there was important people inside of my life, but it's like y'all staying here, like high up here, and they start like somewhere right here. Not saying that they're low, but it's no comparison. But yeah, mom, you always. Oh, dad, yeah. Try to go back and forward. Inside of my head. Sorry, this is so unprofessional, but this is the most natural, genuine thing I could do right now. I remember one time that he told me, we were driving back from somewhere, and you gave me the street knowledge. Cause mom had gave me like the knowledge of like the books and all these things. Like you gave me the common sense, the common like to be able to survive in this crazy world type thing, you know. And you had told me there's going to be a lot of fast talkers, and to go against that, to be able to stop them from their own game, you slow talk them. And that helped out a lot. I mean, I didn't understand when you told me I was a little kid. I was like a little kid, probably like 10, 11 years old, you know, but I never had to witness that type of stuff. But when I did witness it, that did stick inside of my head. Um, Mom, I like the fact that you gave me the best tools I needed, especially for education. Like, you got me the computer. I remember, like, I want to say I was in, like, I don't know, it was elementary for sure, but you got me the old school typewriter where you type and you go, and when you get to the end of the line, you have to hit it and make it go back towards here. But you always make sure that all my schoolwork and stuff like that. Thank you for being interested, you know. It's all the things that I learned. Uh, I see as an adult, like a lot of kids ask why, you know. The kids ask why a lot, and then their parents like, I don't know, just go, blah blah blah. But every time I ask why, even if you didn't have the answer, you bring me to like the library. Like I always been like a kid who wanted to know. Even through my adulthood, it never changed, and it was because of you. Because I feel like I don't know for sure, but like when a kid asks why so many times, and their parents are just like, just stop, you know, like you're bothering me. A kid end up losing interest in learning new things because no one's there to cultivate, grow their sense of wanting to know. And y'all never done that for me. Like anything I wanted to do, I mean, legally, and y'all helped me with those type of things. Um, One of the crazy things was I was 29 years old having I know I brought this up to you about like a month ago or 2 months ago whenever I seen you last time. Brought to you that I was in Moria Hospital at 29 years old having surgery for my legs, of course, from the hospital thing from the motorcycle accident. And I want to say that you didn't make 30 yet that year, or maybe you're 29 at the same time, inside the exact same Memorial Hospital, about to have me. And just that's I don't know. I think I get that from you, Dad. You like to connect things, even though you don't even know that you like to connect things. You do. I remember one time I showed you my lottery numbers that came inside of my head, and the last one was 61, and um, was it yeah 61, and it didn't fit inside the lottery numbers, and so what you did was you flipped it, and then you made it into I want to say you made it into 19, and like it wasn't even like a thought process. It was just like common to you to be able to juggle and move those puzzle pieces together, and I'm like that as well. Uh, what else? Oh, thank y'all so much for being very patient with me. I know I had you losing your patience, me running out the house and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I felt like Rochelle and Kendra like drew all the energy out of y'all. By the time y'all got to me, it was just like, let that boy be. I mean, y'all still made sure I did everything correct, but it was more like a more relaxed environment. Because I remember like times when like Dennis, Ray, Kennedy, and I, Byron, we'll be all out, and they're like, man, I gotta get home, I gotta go to my parents. I'm like, man, why y'all going home so early? And they're like, bro, I was like, my parents gonna kill me, and y'all were pretty much just okay. He made it home late. He made it home late, you know. But that also gave me a sense of not wanting to do anything because like if there's like a sense of urgency, like I have to do this right now because I may not get to go out again next week. You try more stuff, like so you might try like alcohol or drugs because it's like, man, this might be the only opportunity I get, so I gotta take advantage of it. Knowing y'all let me go out and have fun inside the world, anytime it was introducing me, it's like, nah, that's okay, whatever. I'll do it next week, and next week come out, I'll do it next week, and never done it, you know. But thank y'all for that. I don't know if y'all noticed y'all did that, but y'all did. Now, Mom, you got a little crazy sometimes. I ain't gonna call you crazy because I don't want you to turn crazy. But it was crazy. It was aggressive in a good way. Like I said, like if I wasn't doing anything bad, y'all very relaxed. But y'all made sure, Mom, especially you made sure I got on my grades. I remember I know making a D in the report card, and yeah, that was for sure whipping. Like once I got that report card and I seen that D, I was like, oh yeah. Once you get off of work, she's about to come home with a belt. And I deserved it, you know. I shouldn't have been playing around in school, you know. Y'all provided me with a beautiful brain, and sometimes I just lack interest in school. Like, not lack interest in school, because I always loved school. It's just that I put off stuff that I shouldn't have because I was like, oh, I'll be able to finish that later. Then later come like, oh man, this is the day of, you know. Yeah, thank God for giving me a good memory because like a lot of like at a McElhart, we had to kind of write essays, so no one can cheat or make up stuff on the point, on like on the spot, whatever, like that. But like once I made it to public school, it's different. Like they had like multiple choice, so like with my memory, I'll be able to go to my class before the next class and study inside of that class and memorize the study guide and be able to pass the test on the next one. And when I got to my next class, it was just a whole lot easier, and that also made me very lazy. Boy, I remember this one time, I was catching a whipping, and I was inside the y'all bathroom closet. I made the mistake of grabbing that belt. You looked at me with these, man, see, man, man, it looks could kill. Poof, I've been dead. Like, did you just grab my belt? Yeah, I grabbed. I was like, oh snap. Yeah, I got away harder after grabbing that belt. Yeah, I never grabbed the belt again. I think I pretty much blacked out after that. I didn't black out, I'm kidding. Dad, sometimes you would do it too. The course when I was messing up or not being, which I thank you so much as an adult. There's so many kids who do not get disciplined as a kid, and then they turn out horrible, like not horrible, like as like criminals as an adult because they didn't have that discipline inside their life. But with you, that it was more like go grab a branch, and yeah, of course I'll pick like the smallest branch that'll probably easily break off like a pine tree branch or something like that. And that was never a great idea because you always send me back to go get another one. It's like you knew the exact type of branch that would cause the most pain, uh, which I needed. This straightened me out to become a respectable grown up. Um, I'll try to start going through memories. Like my very first memory. Like if you want to go through my life. There's another playlist. Ask Alina or Rochelle or Kendra or anybody like that. It'll show from the different years of my life, and it'll be able to tell you everything. But I'll say it again inside here. Yeah, but my earliest memory, like a memory of all, was when I was being potty trained. You got me like that little white fake toilet, and I remember you dropping me off to my mom's house, and I carried that little thing everywhere I went with me. And I remember holding it, and you rang the doorbell, knocked on the door, and we just waited until someone answered, and that was like the end of that memory. But I don't know why that one stuck with me so vividly, so clear. Also, when I had in Hitting the doghouse. I do remember that sitting inside the backyard. Once they Kendra and Michelle was out there looking for me, and yeah, I just stared. I thought it was funny. I was sitting there rubbing the dog that we had at the time, and just, yeah, oh my god, I can imagine as a parent losing a child and not being able to find them, especially like in the '80s, where it's like it's not as easy to find a child. Um, but yeah. I thought it was funny then, but I see from an adult point of view, nah, it wasn't funny at all. Also, when y'all got me that a Teddy Ruxpin doll, where you put like the little tape inside of his stomach and you close his little overalls, and it would like play talk. And one time I broke it. I don't know how I broke it. I broke it. And then you bought me another one. Thank you for that, because that was like one of my favorite little toys in the world. Of course, the time I told you about when Dad picked me up inside that wheelbarrow from preschool. I get Miss Jenny and Miss Honore mixed up. To me, they were like the same person. I can't explain it. I just knew one lived inside the terrace, but it was from that one. I want to say that's Miss Jenny. I don't know, not 100% on all my stuff. But yeah, I jumped inside that wheelbarrow, and you carried me home inside the wheelbarrow. Yeah, and then I actually, what is this called? And he was like, called a wheelbarrow, and I was like, my little brain said Will Byron. And I imagined Byron with wheels on his hands and his and his feet being pulled, and I just laughed. And you probably had no clue I was laughing, but it's just because I heard you wrong. That was fun. Man, that was really special. The time that you got us that you always kept us up with technology. Like Dad would find stuff. Like Dad had got us the first computer. I want to say he bought it from Shatanya. Um, that computer, and for sure that Atari. Um, and then y'all ended up buying this that Nintendo system with the little Mario and the pad and everything like that. That was amazing. The little duck hunt you shoot at the screen, you know. It's like we were like the perfect middle class. It's like we got to have extra stuff. We got everything that we needed, you know, from the surface because y'all provided that for us, all the children, and plus we was able to get like extra stuff, you know. Thank y'all for that a lot. Um, I remember mom. She would the days that you could bring us that you didn't have to drop us off to. I guess it'd be like the days that you're off, because most of the time you drop Rochelle and I off to Mama house, and we'll sit there and watch Leave It to Beaver until it was time to go to her to bring us to school. But sometimes you drop me straight there, I guess, on your off days or whatever like that, and you go you spit inside your hand when I have all that little crust inside of my eye, and I was like, oh gosh. But I get it now. I get it. You didn't want your child looking like all raggedy in school, like y'all don't have any like y'all some bad parents. You know, you want the kids to look the best you can when they got to school. So I don't mind you spitting in your hand and wiping my eye crust. Uh, even though at the time I hated it. Um, oh, Dad, thanks for bringing this to the horse pen. Like, uh, I never became a country boy, but somehow when I would go to the horse pen, it would bring like signs of peace. Even like riding the horses, just being there and letting us go walk on that pipeline over that swamp back there by Fisher Rotten Road. And especially going to Opelousas and getting on those horses. So I see the picture inside of my head that y'all took of me when I was sitting on top of a horse in Opelousas. It was near towards the house. Um, but yeah, those were fun trips. Running under the table when grandmother would come to kiss me. So I want to be kissed by my grandmother. And then like later on in life, when she moved to Lake Charles, I couldn't stay away from her, you know. First I was running away from her, now I couldn't stay away from her. Something I want to bring. Oh, this is just a weird part. Totally useless. The other time, Dad, you, Rochelle, and me were driving to Opelousas, and we were getting on the interstate, and Anita Baker came on. The song came on. I can't tell you which one it is, the exact song, but I know for sure it's Anita Baker. Um, and then it ended up raining. This is useless. Uh, but we ended up turning around. I don't know why the memory just stuck outside of my head. And the times you let Rochelle and I sit on your lap and drive, well, control the little steering wheel. We'll get to like long roads when we get to Opelousas. That was fun. Um, oh, Mom, remember I wanted braces. I wanted braces so badly, but you had to just pay all that money to get. I want to say it was like $2,000, over $2,000 to get Rochelle braces, and I wasn't able to get braces, and all I had was an overbite. um, but yeah, I was kind of upset I never had braces, but whatever. Financials, you understand financials as a kid. You're like, oh, money just grow on trees. It's free. No, it doesn't. Not at all. I do have one. This is probably later on, more like later on in elementary school. Dad, you and I went to. I want to say we are gonna do a job in Lafayette with Carl. I don't know why this memory just popped this out of my head. We went to the Arcadia Mall, I don't know, whatever. Arcadia Mall, I don't know, whatever. And we were walking, and I was going to get some, I want to say school shoes, and we had seen some Chuck Taylors. And I want to say like Carl had remembered when he was a kid or something like that, when he had got some Chuck Taylors. Oh, you had got Chuck Taylors, one of them, but that memory just popped inside of my head. Um, I do remember going to his apartment when he had like his little apartment, whatever like that. And thank you, Mom, for letting us see the world. Like, you have no clue what that did for me as an adult. Like, knowing that the world is so much bigger than just Lake Charles and Louisiana. You made it your priority, like, to bring us to like different states or whatever like that. Traveled a lot. As an adult, I see how expensive that was. Like, I didn't understand as a child. Like, oh, we're gonna go on the trip. Probably cost like $10. Nah. Yeah, we took those long road trips to like New York. Dad, you were coming with us to the Floridas and share for the Galveston trips. And thank you for coming with us to those Galveston trips. I liked that whole family bond thing. I remember one time we were in Galveston, and I'm just strolling along like nothing's happening. Next thing you know, I'm underwater. Yeah, pushed me inside the water. It was one of those sink or swim type things. I doggy paddled all the way from like the deep end to the shallow end. And I know what you were doing. You were just teaching me. Be be ready for anything inside life, and learn how to swim, boy. uh, Later, Mom, you took me to swimming lessons at the Black YMCA, and I remember that little black girl. Yeah, came pick me up, and we all got on the high dive, and that little black girl was so scared she ended up running away. I hope they caught her. I hope she was just hiding inside the locker room. But when you came pick us up, they were still searching for her or whatnot. We ended up going to that bank on, I want to say it's like Bank One in North Lake Charles. Like once you cross that second big bridge, like before the Burger King and Mission Man and all that spot right there. We were at that little bank on whatever street that is. It's Opelousas, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but I remember that as well. Oh, Dad, thanks for taking me to Camp Edgewood. Like, first I didn't like it. I was like, man, all those kids, all the people inside of my little Cub Scout, Boy Scout thing, whatever like that, is going to be able to free to do what they want. I'm going to be stuck being monitored by my dad. And I was like, I just won't be whatever. And but at the end of the trip, man, my happiest moment was when I was with you. I'm not saying it just to be nice. We slept in the same tent together. which is cool. I hated the mosquitoes, but we ended up closing the mosquitoes hot. I hate being hot, but it was you and I. Didn't matter. Didn't matter anything. Um, and next morning we walked along that little trail thing, and I want to say somebody seen like a water moccasin or something like that. I never seen a water moccasin before. That was the first time. And then we watched the little soapbox derby. Those kids who created their own little wooden cars, and they had to go down the hill and see who win. And plus, I got to get inside the canoe. Um, yeah, that was an amazing experience. Thanks for being there. Um, oh, thinking about Galveston, I remember we would get those little 3 wheel or 4 wheel. I want to say it was like 3 wheel, 3 wheel, maybe it's 4 wheel. The little covered top little bicycle things where you could like fit the whole little family and you ride down the beach side. And it was this cliff, and Dad always act like he's swerving towards the edge of the cliff, and then he would turn around. Oh my God, that was scary. He thought it was funny. And I do the same. I say the same crazy stuff as an adult. Like I think stuff is funny, even though the other people don't. Whatever. Um, yeah, and I bought me those sharks inside those. It's like a bottle, probably like this big, that big, whatever. Um, you know, have like a dead baby shark inside all that little, like a clear, like I don't know what type of liquid they use to preserve the skin, but I would sit that thing on top of my my dress inside my bedroom. I would just stare at it. You know, it was amazing to me. Throat caught up. Um, and again, thanks for y'all raising me correctly with the right guidance. There's so many ways inside this world to go wrong, and I see it as an adult. But um, even as a kid, I sort of seen like a preview of it because like when I went for my McLeod to Fairview, it was day and night. Like all the kids at the McLeod was pretty much like well mannered, whatever like that. And went to Fairview, and I was like selling drugs, like 10 years old. You know, I'm like how did you even get connected to this type of stuff, you know? But I wanted no part of it, you know, just because of the way I was raised. Y'all didn't even have to be there, and I represented y'all what I felt my parents would want me to do, even when y'all wasn't there. Oh, I didn't understand like why y'all didn't let us go to the back streets. Because you also made sure we stayed on the first street and played with each other. And when I got to Fairview, I understood why. Man, there was some bad kids. You let me go to the second street, Mom, because I was going to visit Ricky Ormlin. He stayed on General Patton in the old tiers, but it was about the farthest I can venture out. But he was a good kid. Um, let's see. Oh, back to Galveston. Thanks, Dad, for picking those shells with us. Rochelle and I was picking those little shells off the off the beach in Galveston, and and you could have just been like, "Oh, throw that inside of a bag." But when we got home, you ended up making a whole board. Like you're very good creating stuff. I remember one time Byron said, "Your dad could build a horse." I didn't doubt it for a second. But you built this board with this border, and you allowed us to put our shells there, and then you put that varnish on top of it. I probably still got it. Um, and they became so glossy and so pretty. Of course, we bought some of the shells, you know, because some of my shells was Uh, but it made it look good with the shells that we bought and was able to put them there as well. Uh, yeah, we glued them to the board and then varnish on top of them. But I remember that. Let's see. I remember I was super young. Um, there was one Christmas. I want to say I remember this correctly. You have to ask Rochelle and Kendra to make sure. But I was probably asking about 6 because Kendra was still staying at the house. She was probably like 16 at the time. Or might have been 5 and she was 15. I don't know. But we all end up sleeping next to the fireplace in the den. And then that morning we woke up, it actually snowed on Christmas Day. It's beautiful. A special moment in my life. I do remember building that little ugly snowman, standing next to some proud, smiling, standing next to the so. I was so proud of that thing, smiling so big. It was, whatever. I had like a red, I want to say like red, gray, and blue little jacket, whatever like that. And yeah. Let's see. I go to baseball. I got some of those baseball memories. Like one of the ones that pop up inside of my head is that at time I was I was well, of course, Dad, you remember this so vividly. I was playing in the dirt because I never thought any one of those little kids could hit it that far. Um, and of course, I hit a pop up ball, and out of the 90 million points that ball could have fell, it came right to my nose. They called my name. I looked up and pow, blood. My dad came. Dad, thanks for coming to pick me up off that field. And it's Salt Lake Charles. Um, I enjoyed all the times you brought me to my games at Mid City. And on the ride home, you would give me when we win the game, you'll give me a foot long hot dog from Sonic. I enjoyed those. I do remember like I would be nervous before my little games, and so I would bite my nails on the way to the games. You kept saying, "Jerry, stop biting your nails." I'm like, oh, okay. I'll still bite my nails. You know, like when I get out the truck, I'll go outside and I'll bite my nails. And one day he was like, "I'm gonna put some pep on your fingers. You want to bite your nails?" Sure enough, I was biting my nails. Hopefully, you didn't see inside the truck. And yeah, he put some pepper on my finger, and I was like, okay, when I get out the truck, I'm about to bite the rest of my nails. I bit them nails. Oh my God, I never bit them nails again, boy. Yeah. Um, I remember I hit my first home run, and you promised me you'd get me a Sega Genesis. You bought me a Sega Genesis if I hit my first home run. I hit my first home run, and you kept your promise. I love that Sega Genesis. There was a game on there called Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and it's one of my favorite games to play. Um, oh, Mom, thank you for buying stuff. Thanks. I don't know if you remember this, but one time I was watching Popeye like heavily, like every week I was watching Popeye. I was like, man, if I could get a hold of some spinach, I'm gonna be strong like Popeye, you know. And so I was like, Mom, can you give me some spinach? She was like, Jared, you're not gonna like spinach. And I was like, I'm gonna like spinach. I gotta like spinach, you know. Popeye likes spinach, you know. And so I kept begging. He was inside Kroger's, and he was like, if I buy you this can of spinach, you're going to eat the whole thing. It's like, yeah. Be a strong like Popeye? Of course I'm going to eat the whole thing. It's no problem. I took it home. He's like, Jared, do you want me to cook it for you? I was like, nah, Popeye eat it right out the can. He like squeezes the can, it goes upside there, and he eats it like that. I was like, I'm eating it raw. I ate that spinach. It was horrible. And he was like, Jared, you going to finish eating that spinach. Sure enough, I finished eating that spinach. Never made that mistake again. Yeah. It's probably like a 98-cent can of spinach back at the time, you know. But you taught me a lesson, you know. Be careful what you wish for, you know. I got my wish and I hate it. I hated that spinach. Um, wanted to have some big old muscles like Popeye and like you, Dad. um, uh, oh, Dad, thanks. Speaking of Fairview, thanks for the $5. You know, I don't know if you remember this, but it was I want to say the Buffalo Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys. So that's been like 93, 92, 93 football year. I don't even watch football, and I just heard a kid, Chris Chavis. He was like, he was like, the Dallas Cowboys going to beat the Bills. And I just wanted to be part of the conversation. It's like, no, the Bills are going to beat the Cowboys. He was like, bet something on it. I was like, okay, I bet you $5. Sure enough, the Bills got killed. I went back to school and I didn't have the $5. He kept asking for $5, and I told you I made a dumb gambling bet, and he gave me $5 to pay for my gambling debt. Never made that mistake again. I loved our trips to Sorry for everything just being so random, but I loved our trips to the racetrack. I remember picking out. You told me that you told me to give you the numbers for the trifecta, whatever. And I was like 261. And the only reason why I picked 261 was because, of course, how your brain works, I guess, got downloaded into, passed on to me because I always love figuring out patterns. And I just looked at that big old trash can that was far to the left, and there was that big blue trash can. No, it was 269. Yeah, 269 was the number, not 261. Um, I looked at that trash can and I seen the number. I seen BFI and the B. I was like, B is the second number. And I did my little number. Okay, F is the sixth number. Um, and then I was like, I is the ninth letter. Ninth letter was, F was the sixth letter. V was the two letter. Whatever. You see the pattern. And I was like 269, and you're like, okay, I'll put it in for you, and ended up winning, just like that. I don't know how much it won, but you gave me like $100 or $200 from it, and I was able to buy that big old punching bag from Service Merchandise that we filled up with sand, and you hung it inside the wash house, and and I got some. I felt so proud. I had some Sugar Ray Leonard gloves, or some gloves with Sugar Ray Leonard fakely signed onto it, whatever like that. But there was some Sugar Ray Leonard gloves. I don't know. I don't even know what made me even want to buy a punching bag and some gloves, but I love that thing. And thanks for tying up with that chain inside the backyard or whatever. Um, and there was a another thing that you had built for me, Dad, was I got a basketball goal for Christmas. I want to say like the pole was super expensive, so you took like a railroad track. You was building stuff, which is amazing. You took one of those cross guard things and you post hole dug inside the ground. I want to say you filled it up with cement and then you nailed the rim and the backboard onto it, whatever like that. I was so happy to have a basketball goal. I didn't care what kind of pole was holding it up. Um, I do remember one night. It was the night we went to Bill and Navarre, and Mom, you said I want to say you said your Oldsmobile, the cream looking one, and it was the night that you got rid of that car. I don't know if you traded in or not, and that was the day that you got your Subaru Legacy. I was so proud of that car. I want to say like parts of it was it was just space age to me, compared to the Oldsmobile to that one. And yeah, Dad, you had that old gray classic truck, which I wish you had kind of kept. And then you end up getting that red Toyota, but it was like, I don't know. It was like it just said Toyota on it. It wasn't like a Toyota like Tundra. It wasn't like a Toyota with a number after it. It just said Toyota. I was like, man, he must got some kind of big discount. Got the model of the Toyota. I remember that little red truck. Um, But when you got your car, I feel it was close to that time that we went to some random little city, like one of those little small towns, and you end up buying the Virgin Mary statue that stood in the middle of the front of the house, whatever like that. Um, but I do remember bringing that back home. Um, oh, and Rochelle and I got Pete, and and we built this beautiful box, this cardboard box. Like you should have seen this house, Dad. I mean, you seen it, but you didn't care for it. Uh, it was like, yeah. We had this little blanket to sit on inside the utility room. And you came home. He was like, ain't have no inside dog. That dog going outside. Sure enough, Pete went outside, but that was still my dog. I love that dog. I mean, it's not like my dog isn't my dog. It was all of our dogs. I'm saying like my friend. Um, yeah, I love me some Pete. The other dog we had for his friend, I want to say his name was Spike. He was kind of like brown and black, maybe. whatever. But I just remember the day. It was Byron, Ray, Kenny, and I all standing outside, and Pete and Spike both took off running to run like across the street, and Pete just made it, and then another car came and pow, hit Spike and killed him. I cried in front of my friends that day because the dude just got out the car and he was like, "I'm sorry," got back inside his car and left. I mean, what could he really done? He couldn't replace Spike, you know. And then shortly afterwards, I'm walking to school. I was catching the bus on General Patton, and I seen a brown little Dachshund, or a little wiener dog, laying in the middle of the street with his eye popped out. I say, "Nah, that's not Pete. That's not Pete." Sure enough, it was freaking Pete. Nah, I had to cry at the bus stop on my own. I had to turn my head so the other little kids didn't see me cry because I didn't want them to know that was my dog. And yeah, yeah, going from dogs back to Christmas. I told you this thing will be random. I really don't care. I remember one Christmas, I got the Super Nintendo, and a Globe, and I was more fascinated with the Globe than I was the actual Super Nintendo. I'll spin that thing around. Now I'll put my finger like really light, and wherever it will land, I'll be like, I'm going to travel here when I get older, and it'll say like the country and like a star, you know. And the name of the star would be, I didn't even know it's the capital of the country. You know, like Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. It'll be the capital of some random other country. And that always stuck with me. Like, I memorized majority of the world and memorized the capitals. And I still know them all, like, today. Like, you can tell me any country and I can tell you exactly where it's located and the capital and everything. It just stuck inside of my head. I don't know. I guess the thing me super wanting to learn. I remember the struggle you went through, Mom, to get me all of my stuff that I needed for communion. Um, uh, I had to get that little, I want to say it's like a green book. Not for sure. They had to hold it inside of one of my pictures. You got me my little white suit. You got me my little rosary bead. Every single thing that I needed. So I was in the third grade to be able to receive communion. Like every single Sunday, I would go to a MacLord and I would be like, man, look at these adults. They get to put the bread. They get to eat the bread. I don't get to eat the bread. And I was like, man, wait till I get in the third grade and I get my communion. I'm going to be able to eat the bread. And I was so excited. And I was able to eat the bread. The bread of the Lord. Jesus Christ's body. That meant a lot. I remember going to New Sunlight Baptist with you, Dad. Like, huge difference. Because, like, Catholic church, structured. 8:30, 9:30, done. Baptist church, New Sunlight, 8:30 until the priest ran out of breath. It could be 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. It could be the afternoon. As long as he's spreading his word, I was like, man, I like structure. I get it, you know. But that's why I stuck with the Catholic church because I knew like if I get to church at this time, I knew the time I was leaving. You know, as long as I get the word of God, you know, that's what matter. And thank y'all both for putting me into sports. And thank you, Dad. Another huge thing that I learned I didn't know about 3 or 4 years ago. Thank you for letting me quit sports. Like I just fell out of love with baseball. Like at my peak, like I started off as an left fielder. I want to say, yeah, where the ball rarely goes, and worked my way all up to catcher and then to the pitcher. And I just lost the love of it. I say that I learned this about 3 or 4 years ago because I had a guy who I work with, coworker. He's my manager, and he said my sons want to quit football. He's not going to quit football. If I'm going to tell him it's going to be inside football, it's going to be inside football. Man, give kids a choice, man. Thank you for giving me that choice to quit. I remember the call too. They called, and you were like, "Jared, you playing baseball this year?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing baseball this year." I want to say it was Coach Poular called, and kind of hung up whatever like that. And he called back. He was like, I'll pay you $30 to get you because that's the little baseball fee thing that you have to pay to be able to be inside the league, whatever like that. Still no love for it. Like, I don't know. Uh, wasn't very competitive as a kid. I enjoy seeing everyone build up to grow to become better, but it didn't matter about win or lose, you know, 'cause it's just a baseball game at the end of the day. But there's one kid that stuck out to me, and of course this was at my peak, like my last year playing, before I quit. Um, the baseball team all went to this one field, and there was this kid that came in late. His name was Justin. He had like these big old bottle glasses, and he seemed like he was slightly, I want to say like slightly off. I don't know, something was sort of wrong with him when I'm like that. Like he couldn't, he had like bad hand-eye coordination. Like he couldn't catch a ball, and I quit hanging out with the team, and I went to him personally and was giving him pointers on how to catch the ball, like easier ways to like swing the bat, whatever like that. And I wasn't even the coach. I wasn't being arrogant. I just wanted to see him become better. And eventually, the coach told their parents he can't be on the team, and that's the last time I seen Justin. I just remember his name. But yeah, but that was from good upbringing from y'all for me even to, because I could have just been arrogant like, oh yeah, he doesn't belong on our team, so he's not good enough to be with us. But no, I want to see everybody do great. Um, oh, that. Of course, I'm jumping all around. I should have structured this, but I didn't. It was 1998, and well, first it was 1990. I'll go back a little bit. It was 97, and it was going to be my first day of high school, and of course, I wasn't prepared for anything. So I was like, man, I got school tomorrow. I was like, man, I don't have any shoes. I don't have any. I mean, I had shoes and clothes, but it was all from my eighth grade year, or whatever, like that. And mom, you're like, Jared, here's $100. Go to Foot Locker. It was $100 or $200. You dropped me off to Foot Locker and told me to get my little class wardrobe, my little wardrobe for school or whatnot. And then, so it's the beginning of '97. And then in that summer, my bad, mom, of course, one of my favorite subjects, especially even in college, was English. And the crazy I failed English is because I got mixed up with the wrong kids. It's like they were laughing, joking, and I stopped paying attention to my schoolwork, and then I ended up failing that ninth grade year, and I was inside of summer school. But you made sure, no, you're not just failing. You're about to make up for this, and then you're about to join the 10th grade the next year. Um, so while I was going to summer school, yeah, I went to San Marcos and to the outlet out there, and yeah, it brought me back so much clothes, like all this heel figure, duckhead, like I never. Even, I'm not saying this in a mean way, Mom. But I never even knew you had style. But all the clothes that you brought me back, I wasn't there to help you pick out, and they were the best clothes ever. There was this one Hilfiger shirt. It was called a tennis polo. It didn't have any buttons. It was just like a little. It was like white with like a green type thing right there. I love that shirt. Um, yeah, but I came back the freshest because I was wearing that during the summer school, and I was able to have like brand new fresh clothes during the 10th grade year. I know it doesn't mean as much as an adult, you know, but when you're a kid, it means everything. Like now, I really don't care. I can wear the same thing as long as it's clean, you know. But yeah, thank you for having me the right clothing, you know, and let's see, also that year. So I want to say it's my ninth grade year and close towards the ninth grade summer. I want to say it's like the Mayish, April is the Mayish of 1998. You and I went to Beaumont to go pick up Chopper. I just remember going inside that. I know you say it's related to this, but I can't tell you his name. Of course, you know his name. Um, there were like at least about 10 dogs back there, and they were all tied to like very short chains on a rim. And I was like, why are they tied to those short chains? You know, he was like, because if they get off that chain, they will kill each other. 'Cause I didn't know they were fighting pits. Yeah, but man, to say Chopper was raised from a fighting world, one of the nicest dogs ever, man. Uh, I love Chopper. Um, And also, Dad, when you took me to Dallas, that meant a lot. You showed me where they filmed that big old field where they filmed the TV show Dallas, and the people house that we stayed at. I never told you this. It's not bad. So, but man, when we woke up that morning and they were like, "We have pancakes," I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, we get to have pancakes! We rather get pancakes at our house." And they brought out the pancakes, and I was like, "Where's the syrup?" And I was like, "We don't eat syrup. We don't eat syrup." I was like, "What?" And I didn't want to say anything mean, because I'm just a guest at their house. And I ate the pancakes because I was hungry, but man, I almost felt like throwing up because I never really. Every time I ate pancakes, I had it with syrup, and that was like one of the first and last times I had pancakes without syrup. Um, on the trips you took us on, Mom, it's on my head. I know Arkansas for sure because that was during my younger days. Went to the Passion of the Christ. I remember seeing the guy run out to the back or run out to the front when he was resurrected. That was beautiful to play. And plus, I want to say Aunt Ruby was with us, and I want to say it was her or someone who couldn't know because it was like a diamond mine where if you found something, you get to keep it. But somebody's knees wasn't right back then. I want to say it was Aunt Ruby or some other person that was with us. And it was like, "Oh, my knees ain't gonna make it up that hill," and so we didn't go to that, whatever like that. And Alaska was beautiful. Seeing snow in the mountains, first time I saw it in my life. Uh, Going to the glacier park, camping out there with Uncle Oliver, who drives like a madman through those mountains in his camper, and flying back with my mom. That was cool because you, Rochelle, Devin left like a week or like a few days earlier because the flights was different, and my mom and I flew back because we went from Alaska to Chicago. Then there, I want to say y'all went from Alaska probably to like to Seattle, Dallas, and then there, whatever like that. And yeah, that was a cool little moment chilling with my mom. The whole little circle with DC, Philadelphia, Atlanta. I want to say it was like '96 because they was having the Olympics there. I love that. I remember, I want to say Uncle Jim was there because we got like KFC chicken or something like that. And I think Aunt Cynthia and Uncle Don came visit us later because it was like at maybe like a shared home or whatever they use, whatever like that, like a townhouse, and they had like a tennis court. Yeah, but I enjoyed that. And my bad, like it was one day. I mean, y'all probably don't remember. They probably do remember it. The movie Malcolm X came out, and y'all really, really wanted me to go see Malcolm X. And I was like, "Who's this guy, Malcolm X? I don't care about Malcolm X, you know? I'm gonna go waste my time watching some movie about some random guy." And then y'all end up allowing me to stay home, and y'all would go watch Malcolm X. And then later on, I found out what Malcolm X was, and I really wish I'd have watched that with y'all. That's a moment I regret. I'm not going to see that with y'all because I watched it as an adult, and beautiful movie. And then learning more about him, amazing person. Um, uh, oh, I have a funny story for mom. So it was 2002, and Dennis' car couldn't make it to Natchitoches. Um, And so his mom and his uncle was here in Lake Charles, and they wanted us to. Dennis wants to go see his sister do like a cheerleading competition type thing. I was like, man, I'll go. Um, so not thinking at all. So I jump inside my little white Sentra. Thank you, Dad, for buying me that car. Oh, and thank you for not letting me buy the Diamante. Come to think about it, like, I mean, not me buying the Diamante, not you buying the Diamante, because I had no money in high school, whatever like that. Because they had a black Diamante at that little, because there used to be like a Cadillac dealership or some type of dealership where that gas station is now, like next to Service Merchandise and all that stuff. And they had a black Diamante inside the back, and I wanted the Diamante so bad because Big Mo had that white Diamante, Mitsubishi Diamante, and he was like, "Jared, that's not a good car," and I was like, "I just wanted the Diamante." You went, you took the car, you drove it home. I came home from school, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got a Diamante," And he was like, Jared, look at this. He started up the car, and there was already smoke coming up from the engine because it was one of those cars that was inside like the back, like kind of like their bag cars or whatever like that. And he was like, Jared, if this thing is smoking before we even buy it, it's only going to get worse. Had to suck it up. And he ended up giving me that little, I want to say like a 93, 95 Nissan White Centrum. I love that little car. But thank you for not letting me get it because it would have cost you more money to fix that thing than the car is probably actually worth. I was just young and dumb, thinking short sighted. I just wanted a cool car. But that Nissan lasted. I was very grateful for the Nissan Sentra. But no, back to the story. Inside the Nissan Sentra, going to Natchitoches. So his mom and his uncle drove in front of us, and Dennis, Kenneth, and I all drove behind them or whatnot. And when we made it to Natchitoches, you called me and you was like, Chad, where are you at? I was like, I'm in Natchitoches. She was like, you know you got school tomorrow. Because I was going to McNeese at that time. And you're like, I was like, Mom, there's no way in the world I'll be able to make it home tonight. And I was scared. Even though I was like, 2002, so I was like 19. Yeah, my bad. I mean, I missed a day of class, but I still ended up passing the class at McNeese afterwards or whatnot. I remember moving out for the first time, and Dad didn't like the idea. He didn't like the idea at all. Because I know you probably think I was ready for it. You know, he's not ready for it. That type of thing, whatever like that. Which I probably wasn't. But Dennis came over, and he was like, "You ready?" Because I got my brother Marty with the van outside, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready." Whatever like that. And I was like, "Well, hey guys, I'm moving out." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Go, Dennis, go tell your brother to leave, cause Jared ain't going nowhere. Jared ain't got enough money, ain't got no to move out this house." I was like, "Oh man." Then he told me, he said, "I'll give you a week. In a week, you still want to move out? Can't say anything." And that next week, sure enough, you kept your word. You actually helped me move because Dennis and I was driving in front of you while you drove behind me inside your truck. I want to say you had like the GMC Sonoma then. And I moved all my stuff to the apartment complex. I guess it's for Mom. Thank you for teaching me for so much in my younger days. Because in my adulthood, I love teaching others things. You know. There's this one girl. This is like one of my proudest moments in my life. There's this girl named. I'll give you like the short version of it. You know, there's this girl named Lydia, and she was. She was. She was 19. I was like 26 at the time, whatever. And she had like 3 kids, and we had met just talking, whatever, like that, and so I was, and all she did was like watch like cartoons, not cartoons, but like have her kids watch cartoons, and she was like watch TV shows, and I was like, you never thought about like, because she dropped out of high school, and she didn't even have a GED. And you engraved that inside of my mind, education. But I didn't want to force it upon her, like you need to get your GED, you need to do this, whatever like that. I had a lot of books inside of my house, and so she would like gravitate towards them, and she would like read them sometimes, whatever like that. And she really loved learning. I said, man, all this learning you're doing, you should move that same energy towards getting your GED, something more useful. So I ended up going to Books A Million, and I bought a GED book. Of course, I knew majority of it, you know, because I graduated high school. And I went over with the GED book, and sometimes she was sort of like crying because sometimes she wouldn't like get stuff, but I'll stick with it, you know. I told her it's okay, you know. And then she ended up graduating and got her GED, and she thanked me at her graduation. It was actually at Lagrange. the mayor at the time, Randy Roche, came to it, and so it was like, you could go further. And then she was like, I was like, what do you find interesting? And she was like, well, the type of neighborhood she was living in was really bad, and of course, there were like drug people walking around. She was like, I was just very interested in like how these drugs affect people's brain, whatever like that. And I was like, well, it was like pharmacy stuff like that. And she ended up finding her own grant to get to Suella, and I would meet her at the library, um, and we would go over all of her school stuff. And so I would read it all and I'll memorize it because I'm really good at memorizing stuff. And then I'll act like I don't know, and then I'll have her teach it to me. And then when she'll teach it to me, and when she'll make a mistake, I'll be like, and then have her do it right, because like the only way you really know something is if you could teach something to someone. So that I gave her that position, and she ended up getting a pharmacy tech degree, and moved out of that bad neighborhood, moved the kids inside of a really nicer apartment, and end up getting a job at Walgreens, and then moving up inside the hospital doing a pharmacy tech there. And then she ended up getting married, and then her and her husband ended up buying a house. And just seeing her go, even though it wasn't me going through all these accomplishments, just knowing that I lit that little fire under, to get all the way up there, it's beautiful. Yeah. Um, And also, I told her about I was a brag to about the trips that y'all took us on as kids. And one day, I mean, she was one day she ended up taking her kids right there, not far, but cool. She took her kids to the Baton Rouge, to like the state capitol, and she was like, "I'm doing this because of what you told me your mother did and your father did for you as a kid. So I want my kids to experience that as well." So it's like all these little seeds are being planted just from y'all. And of course, y'all had seeds planted from y'all, whatever like that. But yeah, it's one of my proudest moments. Um, Thank y'all for being there every time I messed up something inside of my life, which I tried to keep it down to a minimum. So I know you got 3 kids. So I didn't want to be that burden. But anytime I messed up inside my life, y'all was there to help me, man. Like, um, of course, y'all amazing parents. So what y'all taught me was led up into my adulthood. And so I want to be super independent. Uh, you always made sure like our bellies were full and we were happy. I guess later on, it was just so funny getting you that. We jumping way ahead when made me laugh so much when I got you that record player, mom, and you got yourself. You said you'd become a DJ or something like that. That was funny. I don't know. That was funny to me. I guess I could give some experiences that y'all weren't there. Like just little silly things. There's so many things I could talk about. Uh, Preschool. Like when I was at preschool, favorite part of preschool was taking naps. Like I remember mommy brought me to. I want to say it was. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it was Dale Shumps. They had those little red and blue mats. That's the little standard mats you're supposed to get for the kids to take naps on. I felt so proud of that little mat taken to school every single day. And yeah, um, joining T-ball for my first year was fun. I guess because Byron was there, and I probably joined it just because Byron was there. But the second year, I kind of didn't like it. I won't say I felt like an outcast being the only black kid there, even though I was. It just felt more comfortable at Mid City, if that makes sense. Being around my people. Um, uh, oh, this is an experience that I'm running through my thought process. I don't know why this one popped up inside of my head. Mom, like, you bought me that bed. I remember you bought me with the California Raisin bread, the whole comforter set, like bed sheets, the sheets of the California Raisin, like I want to say the pillowcases too, and like the comforter were all California Raisins. The little popular little group, I think it was a Temptation song for them or something like that, but they were very popular like during the 80s and late 80s, early 90s, whatever like that. And there was little raisins that could sing on the little mics, whatever like that. They had a bunch of commercials. And I would lay inside that bed, and I always wanted to do flips. So I kept jumping. I'd do a front flip land, a little side back flip land, and eventually I broke it, and then the whole frame came down, right? And so you're like, Jared, you're jumping in that bed again, huh? She's like, I'm gonna buy you another bed, but if you break this one, I'm not buying you another one. I was like, okay, I'm just doing like less flips instead of doing like 5 times a day. I'm doing like twice a day. Sure enough, I broke that one too. He's like, Jared, you remember what I told you, huh? Like, yeah, I gotta soak this one up. And I laid on the mattress on the floor. And it wasn't because you couldn't afford it. It's because you had to teach me my lesson. Stop doing flips inside of the bed. And it's crazy because like I end up like enjoying sleeping on the floor, on the mattress. And even inside my adulthood, no matter how much money I made, I wanted a mattress on the floor. I guess I don't know, psychologically, like mentally, I think it brought me back to like never become too big for yourself. No matter how much money you make, no matter how great things you do, remember you're sleeping on the mattress on the floor when you get back. It may not make sense to y'all, but it makes sense to me. I can't explain it. um, but yeah, still my mattress is on the floor. Oh, that's one moment y'all wasn't there. I went on a Byron dad took us on Byron and I on a fishing trip, and we got inside of his boat, and he took us all the way to Sabine River, and strong smells and heavy wind triggers me with headaches. And so I'm sitting on the boat and I'm keep breathing this. I had the worst freaking headache inside of my life from that wind. And Mr. Terrell, he sat there, he cast out his line, and he was the most peaceful person you could see, you know? And I didn't get it at the time because I'm a kid, you know? I need to be doing this, and that. But like, as an adult, I understand it. Like, I don't know if he needs to get away from Miss Biagas for his alone time, you know. But yeah, being married, sometimes you need that alone time. You probably won't understand, Mom, but yeah. I remember Mr. Biagas when I used to come home from school. He'd just be sitting in his boat, like I don't know, water on this little trailer thing that the boat was sitting on. He'd just be playing with tackle, just sitting out there. I guess he was like in a trance, but hey, peace of mind is priceless. I gave that man peace of mind. Loved it. Um, mm, just later on in life, one says like 2008, 2009, I gravitated towards playing chess. We had the Hurricane Gustav, whatever. We had like a few days off of work, and so I just love, like I said, love learning new things. And so I just went to Books a Million and bought 2 books and taught myself how to play chess. And I became really good at it. Like, really enjoyed it. Like, still today, it's one of my fun things to do. Like every Saturday, I go to this chess club at there's a coffee shop in Sulphur where like 10, 12 of us meet up every single week to go play chess. And also, last year, I joined my first chess tournament. I won it. I got my little trophy in the refrigerator. Uh, um, Things you probably don't know about me. I love to read. Like I love to read and figure out stuff. And I guess I came from both of y'all. Because mom, you're probably a heavy reader. I don't know because you really on education, and dad, you was a super solver. The things you could solve inside your head is amazing. so I guess I took the best of both worlds from y'all. You know? I got dad's big head and mom big eyes. You know, still came out a beautiful little being, beautiful little human being. Thank y'all for that. Um, and dad used to never show me that card trick. When we were kids, you used to shuffle the cards normally, and you'll give yourself like a straight flush, or like five eight, or like five aces or something like that. You always had like the one hand better. I actually the teacher told me, he's like, nah, you're not ready for that. So I guess I never was ready for that. Um, I wish I knew more about y'all past. Not I mean not just like y'all when y'all got together, whatnot. Just like past in general, like. But I know a lot of things you try to like keep secret from a child, you know, because you don't want them to know about your hard times. But I was about perfectly fine without knowing. But I did wish I knew more. Um, I don't know. It's been like an hour. Me just talking straight to y'all. I'm trying to think of like just a little few things that I probably never told y'all. Nothing. Sorry I give you grandkids, mom. Like, or both of y'all. I don't know if dad wanted grandkids. I mean, you got all the little boys from your girls. Well, I guess I didn't get to carry on the Joseph last name, but nah. I guess I'll make a part two to this if I can. Just think of something else on top of my head, but I think I ran through just as much as I could of just thoughts. I love y'all, like from the bottom of my heart. There's nothing I could have done anything differently to make me a better person. Uh, I've seen many other adults fail at at life, and I think it's very huge, probably on their upbringing, whatever like that. Like because of dad, I give majority credit to dad, you know, because mom, you like to spend, you like to spend money. I mean, it's all purposeful, like trips and stuff like that. But dad taught me the use of saving money, and so like it was engraved inside of me ever since I was a kid. So like out of Byron, Ray, Kenneth, Dennis, all of us, I was 28 years old when I was buying my first house for like $250,000, and being financially stable through all of this stuff because I was ahead of them. And then later on, they were able to do these type of things, but it was like 10 years later. It's because I had such a, it was engraved inside of my head. I never had to learn it. It was just second nature to me. Like, why not save money, you know? Um, and thank y'all for, I mean, I don't know if it's done purposely, you know, like moving, even though like the house y'all had inside North Lake Charles wasn't like in a very bad area because we had like family, cousins that lived like down the street, but like y'all moving to the terrace gave a better opportunity for us as kids. And I plus I never got to meet Ray and Kennedy and Byron. You know, those like my closest friends and Dennis later on in cell life, whatever like that. Thank y'all for that. You know, moving inside of a bigger home. Um, I do remember that going to the rent house and seeing those some of those little kids were bad, man. Because it was like a lady with like I was like 3 or 4 kids. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly whatever like that, but yeah, those type of kids I didn't want to be around. Sorry for the long gaps. I love y'all. Like I said, I'll make a second part of this video. It's just, my brain's kind of exhausted right now. And all right, bye, mom and dad. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, and thank y'all for everything.